You see is for you and I. In your dreams, through the nights, every moment that passes by, look to the heavens, hands spread wide, thanking Allah the Most High. There is no God but Allah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear viewers, I would like to welcome you once again to our program iTeens World, where we'll be discussing a very important topic regarding the leadership development of youth. And I would like to mention that this topic is going to revolve around time management, where we'll be basically discussing how to facilitate the development of these skills that we can then apply and in real life to make it better leaders for tomorrow. And I have here young guests with me, and I will start with their introduction.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Mateen Yusuf. I'm 17 years old. I'm in year 12 and I'm originally from India.
And you've been living in Dubai, I think.
Yeah, I've been living in Dubai for the past 16 years.
Okay, mashallah.
My name is Basil. I'm from Pakistan. I'm 15 years old and I'm in year 10.
I'm Ibrahim Khan. I'm in year 9 and I've been living in Sharjah for the past 15 years.
MashaAllah. Okay, I would like to start with this topic, and I think it's one of the most important topics when we really understand the value of time by just looking at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Asr talks about the time, and the importance of it is in the day-to-day life. And we have to really look at the tafsir of the surah to understand the value of time management. And this is why we are here going to discuss the issues that we face at the moment, where we find that there is no barakah in time. And if you really look back, I think when we look back, and we were discussing in our previous episodes when we talk about acquiring knowledge, how there was so much books that was written by scholars in very little time. When it comes to today's time, when we calculate that how can they do all of this, and subhanallah, it was the barakah of time. And I can give you from real life examples, but I want to hear from you, what do you think is time management in today's perspective?
I think that time management is organizing your time so that you can do all of your things that are necessary for you. Because we as Muslims, and especially as youth, in the Muslim youth, we have a lot of tasks that we have to do. We have stuff from school, we have stuff from you have to gain some Islamic knowledge, we have give time to our family, and give time to siblings, parents, all of it.
So how do you prioritize?
You prioritize according to how much time you think. You need to look at first the things that are outside home. You give them time. You need to try to give them a specific amount of time.
Okay.
And you need to make sure that that time does not take away from you. You don't start leaving your family and not talking to them, not staying with them, not talking with them.
Any examples of like what you have done to manage your time better?
I have actually done a few things, such as making schedule. But one of the problems that people face when they make a schedule, they make the schedule and then they don't follow it. They will make hundreds of schedules, but they won't follow any of them.
But Basil, I think that I had a problem when I made schedules, that your day changes on a day-to-day basis. I have something to do today that I won't have to do tomorrow, and I have something to do tomorrow that I won't have to do today. And then circumstances come up, I need to go there, I need to go here, and that throws your schedule off the balance.
But there's also some margin for for some.
So how do you do the backup plan? That's interesting to hear from you.
But I
think there should be a backup plan. How do you think that one can develop a backup plan that will help?
But mainly one thing what we need to do is ask Allah for the barakah in the time to come more.
Mashallah,
because without the barakah and with management,
at the
there's
end of
no
the day,
use of management. There's no use of management.
Yeah,
we'll run out of time.
True. I will give you an example. I once did a youth leadership program. In this program, there was one brother who did the whole year plan. And I don't know if some of you were in that program, you might remember that he said that he had planned for everything. And one of the questions people asked, that what happened when you couldn't follow that? And he said, I had a backup plan. So he had actually allocated time that he will wake up before Fajr, do the Qiyamul Layl, then he will read the
Study.
Quran. He will spend time in studying before going to school, and he had planned it so well because he had a goal in front of him. This is what I want to do by year 13, and I want to make sure that this is the Quran I want to finish. And interestingly, he was not just doing all the things for himself, but he had also time to help his family, help his siblings. And interesting, because the most important part that I learned from this session was that he had a backup plan. So it wasn't just, okay, what if I don't do it? What if I miss one day? What if I miss, emergency can come anytime. But mashallah, he had planned it. And I encourage youth to actually look at this. And even not youth, but as our viewers are, from all aspects of life, and, parents, teachers are watching, I would encourage not only, ask the youth to do it, but also we should start looking at how we can manage our time better.
Interestingly, but Wasim, that you said about the backup plan, that was quite interesting. But also about the goals, I personally have experience, especially since the recent summer holidays, when you don't have any goals. For example, on a normal routine day-to-day basis, when you have school, you have homework to finish, you have to study for the test that is on tomorrow. So you have your routine, when you have your goals, that this is what I need to do. But on summer holidays, when you have no goals, you just simply waste your time day in and day out on the computer, on the TV, on
yeah,
your
you
iPhone.
procrastinate.
So I think the goal is important.
Every Muslim has a goal in life, which he
Should
has
have
to
a goal, yeah.
No, he has one, and he has to follow it up to the very end. The goal is getting Allah's pleasure and going to Jannah. That's it.
Yeah. This is whatever we do it for the sake of Allah. And especially when Allah talks about time, it's a big emphasis on time. And I think that sometimes we lack that ability to look at the importance of time. And youth, your age is it can be one of the most productive and happiest times of your life for most of the people, because you have that time to do things. You have that energy, the drive to make a change, make a difference in not only your lives but other people's lives. You can do wonders with the time that you have. You can acquire knowledge at a pace that perhaps sometimes it can be difficult. But keeping in mind that, of course, all the knowledge and development and everything come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He is the one who guides the hearts into the right direction. But looking at this, I think we need to make dua that Allah puts the barakah in the time, so we can do the things.
And there's one more thing that, for barakah, that, a lot of the ulama say that, people that pray Qiyamul Layl, regularly, they have barakah in their time more than other people.
Subhanallah. Of course, this is most importantly, we need to focus on that. When we have the time, what do we do with the time? It's what are the priorities? And of course,
yeah, that's what I said. You need to have something. You need to be open-minded and have a good vision and understanding of what needs to be done. Even when you have no goals, like I said, during the summer holidays, you should have. For example, I have time now in the summer holidays to work on a skill, whether it be memorizing Quran, or maybe I want to learn a new sport, archery or horse riding. I would like to learn something like that. You need to set goals for yourself, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think goals are part of. Then you will have that ability to use the time effectively. Because if you don't have goal, what are you time managing for? What are you going to do with this time when you will have all this time if you don't have goals?
People have always think that killing time. I'm just killing time.
Yeah, exactly. This is a common phrase, I think.
One of the important things when you're thinking about this, about setting your goals, you need to make sure why you are setting these goals. Why do you want to achieve this thing?
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of people that have goals, that they know what to do. They have a vision of what they want to do in the future, but they don't know why they want to do it. And this, and what happens when they don't have a purpose for this is that when they fall a little bit short, then they say, okay, this is impossible, I need to do something else.
But then for this, you also have to have your priorities set right. What you have to do to get that goal.
And which is the pleasure of for the sake of Allah. Everything we do is for the sake of Allah, and we need to make sure that our intention is very right of what are we going to do with this time, and how are we going to prioritize, and what are the most important things that we can never ever miss. And subhanAllah, if you look at the 5 prayers, it teaches you time management. Basically, this is why the Prophet ﷺ encouraged to pray on time rather than delay the salah, and it teaches you that how to manage it more effectively. This is one of the most important things that will teach you those skills.
Interestingly, you mentioned salah. I feel I had always a feeling that salah makes you aware of time, because, for example, if you're working so hard on something, and then finally you hear the adhan for Maghrib, for example, then you realize, okay, yes, you get out of your world that you submerge yourself in it, whether it be games or entertainment, or whether it be something important like work or school. And I think salah helps you keep track of time. That's what I asked my mother. When people don't pray salah, what do they do in their lives then? What do they do in their days then?
Yeah, subhanAllah, once you are in salah, and of course Allah is the one who gives us the opportunity to do these ibadas, but it builds that confidence. You're like, something is missing. If you are delayed in salah or something, you're like,
you want to hurry to it.
Yeah, you're waiting for the time to come, and so that I can pray. And
I always feel that I have something missing if I don't pray at the proper times.
One of the things that you should keep in mind is that a lot of people, they say, okay, if I make a schedule, then I might not stick to it because there's not enough fun and games in it. So anything you do, all of your hobbies, as long as they are good and they're important, they're halal and important, put them in the schedule as well.
Mm-hmm.
That will help you. They'll keep you motivated more.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to supplement activities, because it's not being just into one thing, and
Like
you
study
become
only,
and you go extreme into one direction, and that's it. All your priorities is study, and you become a geek, and you're looking at the world from one angle. I think as youth, you need to be active. You need to have those activities that will build that capacity. That it's all about building capacity. It's not just acquiring knowledge, like we said. It's about building that capacity, that understanding of different things. And you can't do it just by focusing on one priority A, and that's it. I'm going to study 16 hours a day, and I'm going to go to the top university in the world. Yes, okay, it can be a goal, but then don't forget,
you have other stuff to do in life as well.
Yeah, that are perhaps more important than that top university. That is your giving time to your family, giving time to your deen, most importantly, because giving time to your family is also part of our religion.
That's what I
when
heard.
You try to give when you try to do justice to yourself, to your people around you, the first thing you need to do is identify your roles. How many roles do you have in life? Roles can be, okay, I'm a son, I'm a daughter, I'm a father, I'm a mother, whatever. I'm a teacher, I'm a student. These are all roles. You need to prioritize, in the sense that which one does Islam say that I have to do it.
Like your mother, the most important thing. You need to have that time to spend with her, to listen to her, to talk to her. So inshallah, we will be continuing this topic. We will be taking a short break, and we will be back soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Look to the heavens, hands spread wide, thanking Allah wide, thanking Allah the Most High. There is no God but Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back to iTeens World, where we are discussing another very important topic, time management, with my young guests here. And we were just talking about actually time management, and I during the break I was thinking the good way to manage time perhaps can be looking at your day critically and making a list of the time wasters. Now let's see, on an average, a youth, I'm not talking about you, but from your peers, how much time do a young person spends on TV or mobile or
But
internet?
Wasim, I doubt you. I tell you, it's not just TV these days, it's the internet.
Okay, let's see.
It's the
Okay,
internet.
well, let's go one by one. Let's make a list. Let's maybe it will help the viewers to look at what
Their
young
own
people-
lives, yeah.
Yeah, from the peers that you can pick up. Like, let's see, TV. How many hours do you think an average teen spends
would
on TV?
say-
6 to 7.
No, man, like an hour. Nobody watches TV
No,
anymore.
I'll give you the
No.
stats. Let's look at stats, okay? For example, they say that an average 2 to 3 hours
Okay.
of TV a teen will spend, but they will be spending more than 6 hours on the internet.
Because that's more interesting.
Yeah, but look at this. So when we say time management, and we have all this time, and perhaps we are doing good things on the internet. I don't know. We don't know. But do you think that we can prioritize in a very good way on the internet, where we go, where we search, what we look at? No, I don't know. That's personally my
That's
own
what I was
experience.
telling you, Brother Wasim. Internet is like a slippery slope. You're on it, you have the right creeps and hooks, you can climb that slope. But if you're not on it, you just slip and fall into the valley. That's what I was discussing just before the break.
Yeah.
That salah is something that helps you get out of the slope and realize what you're doing and what time it is.
Yeah, in my last leadership program, I asked, I think some of you guys were there, that how do you leave that video game and go for the salah? And I had a beautiful answer. And he said, I will quickly go and make wudu. Because that way I am more prepared to leave these things, these thoughts, to get prepared more. Because otherwise you will be in the salah, but you will be thinking Xbox 360, that game.
But then, Brother Wasim, again, it comes back to peer pressure. If you tell your friends, no, I want to go pray, it doesn't look cool, you know.
Yeah, but how do you handle it? This is the most important thing. I mean, you need to prioritize your time. You need to, people should know that this is the time for salah, and we have to take priority.
And you need to show that the time that you use in salah is not actually being wasted.
Yes.
It's actually helping you do your tasks more efficiently.
Yeah.
You know,
When people
Allah,
see this, they will be.
Allah says in the Quran that He is actually doing like a trade with us, because every thing that we do, every good thing that we do, we get 10 hasanat. It's like we do one thing good and we get 10 things out of it.
10 good
We
deeds.
make-
And then that makes your day better as well, yeah.
And this is like the best. This is called the best investment. There's a saying that people that volunteer for Islamic events and other stuff, you should call them investors and not volunteers, because they are investing their time in Allah's way, and then Allah will reward them multiple times that.
And this is one of the scholars said, the time is the true wealth. When we talk about wealth, it's not money, because money may stay in the banks and may be for the next generation, not even for you. And you're thinking you're collecting all this money, and at the end it's of no use, and you spend so much time into earning that money from all sources,
That's
forgetting
why
about
time is the most valuable thing that we can ever have.
Yeah.
Death comes with time, you can't recover it. If you lose time, you can't recover it.
yeah.
You lose one of your limbs. Now the gadgets and everything are
Yeah.
so high that you can actually get a robotic one.
Yeah.
So coming back to our list that we were making, internet is one of them,
Yeah.
TV is another.
Yeah. What is the other?
I think games,
Games is-
Xbox, PS4 is
Yeah.
coming out, by the way, guys. Yeah.
But I think
We buying it?
No.
Oh, okay.
but really,
Dull, man.
do you think any other things that can be added to the list? I think there are more to the
The
list.
games, yes.
Yeah.
I think maybe wasting time
Too much time
outside?
socializing. Yes.
socializing. Yeah.
Too much.
No,
And so the-
socializing
but the
isn't-
socializing is not the right type of socializing. If
Exactly.
it's
yeah,
the right
if
type,
you have
it's
the
okay.
right type, then it's good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The wrong
Because-
type is just basically sitting on a phone.
Yeah.
talking
Or,
to somebody.
or just sitting together, talking about useless stuff.
Yeah. But
Waste talk, yeah.
yeah. And what did we discuss just recently about the lagh, the bad talk? It's one of the worst things.
Because it can lead to
Yeah.
gossip and backbiting and slander, which is
Yeah.
some very big things that
You
can
know,
have a very bad
gossip
impact
in-
on you.
Now-
So if you
nowadays-
want to advise to the youth, what would you say? Okay, we make the list. Okay.
Yes.
So how do we minus things from the list? How do you prioritize?
Basically, I think just stay away from them.
But
But I don't agree with that, because it's not possible for everyone. Not everyone has.
But
so
not all
strong.
5 things. Of course, not all 5 things. Some of the things that gossip based on small type.
all
So
of these
when-
things
when-
you need it in a small amount.
when I think when youth talk about that, they don't have time, they're so busy, there is so much study. It's amazing to know that they are spending this much time on TV, internet.
No, but
and,
I can tell you from personal experience, that if you manage your time properly, wake up early in the morning, you can do all of these things and still find time, lots of time to do these extra things that
That's
people
very true.
used to probably do.
That's happened with me myself. I sat down to study. Like at school, you're just doing loose talk in the morning, right?
Yeah.
You're not actually using your brain. You're not actually using your time. When I woke up in the morning once, I didn't do it again, but still, it happened once with me. I started studying in the morning. The thing that I would cover in the last night, 2 or 3 hours, I covered it in 1 hour,
Oh,
and that's all.
I had
And then I went to school.
Because your brain is fresh at that time,
Yeah.
obviously.
I had recently a brother, I met him and he came for the Quran recitation program in Dubai, and mashallah, he was from Bosnia and he was 16 years old, and he was telling his story about how he basically memorized the Quran in 2 years. And the way he said that he did it, he was, first of all, he was influenced by another friend of his who was memorizing the Quran. And he said, okay, I should memorize too. But it was amazing, sometimes we take a break from school and we go and we memorize the Quran, and then we come back and then we start again. This brother was telling all the children, because we were all sitting together, and he was saying that he actually did the time management, and he said it's so easy. He said, don't think I'm a geek. I do very well in school. And by the way, he was from Bosnia, but he was speaking very good Arabic, and he also spoke very good English. So he learned the languages, because usually it's the Bosnian language that is spoken in Bosnia. But he, not only the languages he acquired, but also he said he was a normal kid. He went to school, he memorized the Quran, and he said he hung out with his friends. And it's amazing to see that actually, and what he was saying the reason was because our parents are taking care of us, and we don't have to
So
really
that's a
work.
parent's responsibility.
Yeah, and they are giving us the opportunity. We should take this opportunity and do something. But beautifully, he said it at the end. He said it was all because it was the intention, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who guides people, and he had guided me. And from nowhere he started memorizing the Quran, and mashallah, his father at age 30 also, to be a role model to his child, starting memorizing the Quran as well.
But Wasim, a lot of people give, whenever you talk about memorizing in the early hours, as Basil said, I had a problem with it first, because if you tell me to get up for Fajr, I get up, I pray, I am so tired, I go back to sleep. But then I found out that my peak time is before Fajr, right before Fajr. So now I get up, for example, if Fajr is 4:45, I get up at 4 and try to do my work. And then, if obviously on a weekend, because on weekdays you have to go to school, but on weekends, I feel that the time before Fajr and that 1 hour until Shuruq, that is the time I'm quite active. So I think that people who say, no, I feel too tired, is just an excuse.
Yeah.
And especially because when you wake up early, you can also catch a lot of sunnahs that you are missing normally.
Example, the
Yeah,
adhkar.
Like for example, the praying in the last third of the night, and also the qiyamul layl, which is the same thing, but also you'll get more time because you'll be awake before Fajr, and you will not wake up just at the time of Fajr. You will get the sunnah of Fajr on time, not after Fajr.
And you can go to the masjid and you can prepare yourself as well.
But then see that Islam falls right in place to our daily lives. If we set our lives according to the Quran and the Sunnah and Islam, then it's going to be the best life we can ever have.
That's what
You see the Sahaba, they used to do so much, and they used to have time, and they used to meet each other, and they used to go on jihad, they used to do everything well.
Yeah.
Now us, we're just too lazy to do it.
Yeah, that's because the same
I think
thing
it's
I said
laziness
before.
and
Yeah.
procrastination, and
Yeah.
it's not just in youth. I think
Yeah, that's
overall.
what they're living Islam. Islam, a way of life, not a religion.
Yes.
It's a way of life.
No, because
Yes.
we are living, we're being a bit pampered. We're being pampered in all of our things, so we don't understand.
But perhaps
the
in
value of
this
time.
region, yes, we are well-to-do families, but in other region, you might see that the youth are actually working at a very young age. They have to support their families. I mean, one of the another story from the Quran recitation program was a brother who memorized the Quran, and he had to go to another country. He traveled to another country because his own country he didn't get that madrasa to and he said he had dedicated enough time to go there, and make sure that he will do it in a shorter period of time than the regular guys, because he had to come back and help his family, because he cannot afford to just stay there in the madrasa. And he said, you know, I want to give that example of how they used to do it, because it's beautiful how they wake up early in the morning and how they used to clean the masjid first before they even, you know, start. And you have to do it really early. So you have a time period in which you are going to do all the chores, and then you have to study, and then you take a break, and then you reflect on what you have learned today. SubhanAllah, was just not about memorization. So the complete cycle. You know, he said there was so much barakah that they used to have enough time to actually play soccer and do other things rather than just studying, which they used to.
I think doing things at the right time is important. Because, for example, in the morning you get up and you just waste your time drinking coffee and sitting reading the newspaper. Well, that's not, well, that time your brain is really fresh. You don't need to read a newspaper to learn about some horrible disasters that happen in the world. You can read, you can do some productive work about reading the Quran or your studies. You can leave the newspaper for later on in the morning or in the afternoon.
Can I just say one final saying? You know, this is a very good saying because it shows the balance. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Yeah, makes Ahmed a dull boy, man.
I really want to thank you. It was really interesting discussion once again. It was, you know, a pleasure having you guys here. And really, I think the viewers, they must also take some learning outcomes from this program. And inshallah, this episode was focused on time management. And inshallah, we'll be discussing more topics on iTeens World, so don't miss it. And inshallah, we'll see you again. Thank you again, and I also thank you viewers for watching us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All you see is for you and I. In your dreams, through the nights, every moment that passes by, look to the heavens, hands spread wide, thanking Allah the Most High. There is no God but Allah, Muhammad is his messenger. Look to the heavens, hands spread wide, thanking Allah the Most High. There is no God but Allah, Muhammad is his messenger. There is no God but Allah.